China is one of the world's 4 ancient civilizations, and uniquely it has endured in continuity to the present day. Its history spans thousands of years, from the Neolithic cultures along the Yellow and Yangtze Rivers, through great dynasties and empires, to its emergence as a global power in the 21st century. This narrative will follow the main stages of Chinese history, highlighting major events, policies, cultural achievements, and the leaders who shaped its destiny. Archaeological evidence shows that humans inhabited the Yellow River and Yangtze basins tens of thousands of years ago. By 7000 to 5000 BCE, Neolithic cultures such as Hemudu and Liangzhu in the south, and Yangshao and Longshan in the north developed farming, pottery, and early settlements. These cultures laid the groundwork for China's first states. Tradition speaks of the Xia dynasty, founded by Yu the Great, famous for controlling floods of the Yellow River. Whether legendary or real, it symbolizes the dawn of political authority. The Shang dynasty is the first archaeologically verified dynasty, marked by oracle bone inscriptions, advanced bronze casting, and walled cities. The Zhou dynasty lasted the longest, introducing the mandate of heaven as the moral foundation for rule. Over time, its decentralized feudal system weakened, leading to the Spring and Autumn and Warring States periods. This was the age of China's great philosophical schools: Confucianism under Confucius, Taoism under Laozi, legalism, and the writings of military strategist Sun Tzu. These ideas shaped Chinese governance, society, and culture for millennia. In 221 BCE, Qin Shi Huang, king of Qin, unified the warring states and proclaimed himself the first emperor. He standardized script, currency, weights, and measures, and began massive projects like the Great Wall and his famous terracotta army. Though the Qin dynasty lasted only 15 years, it set the model for imperial rule in China. The Han dynasty, 206 BCE to 220 CE, consolidated and expanded Qin foundations. Under Emperor Wu, Han Wudi, China expanded into Central Asia and opened the Silk Road, linking China to the Mediterranean. Confucianism became the state orthodoxy. Bureaucrats were chosen through examinations, and science and technology flourished with inventions like seismographs and paper. Han China was so influential that the dominant ethnic group today still calls itself the Han people. After the fall of Han, China fragmented into the 3 kingdoms of Wei, Shu, and Wu. This turbulent era produced legendary figures such as Cao Cao, Liu Bei, Sun Quan, and the strategist Zhuge Liang. Their struggles were later immortalized in the classic novel Romance of the 3 Kingdoms. The Jin dynasty briefly reunified China, but civil wars and invasions led to centuries of division between northern and southern states, known as the Northern and Southern Dynasties. Despite political turmoil, Buddhism flourished, art thrived, and Chinese civilization absorbed new cultural influences from Central Asia. The Sui dynasty reunified the empire and began ambitious projects such as the Grand Canal, linking North and South China. Though short-lived, the Sui paved the way for the Tang dynasty, one of the greatest empires in world history. The Tang capital, Chang'an, became the world's largest city, a hub of international trade and culture. Tang emperors expanded China's borders deep into Central Asia, Korea, and Vietnam. This era produced masterpieces of poetry by Li Bai and Du Fu, stunning Buddhist art, and the rise of female rulers such as Wu Zetian, the only woman to claim the imperial title. The Tang dynasty was cosmopolitan, vibrant, and influential across Eurasia. However, internal rebellions and weakened authority eventually led to its decline. The Song Dynasty, 960 to 1279, marked a period of remarkable economic and technological growth. It introduced paper money, perfected gunpowder weapons, advanced iron production, and saw the widespread use of the magnetic compass. Commercial cities flourished, agriculture boomed, and population soared. Song art and philosophy reached new heights with exquisite porcelain, landscape painting, and the rise of Neo-Confucianism. Yet the dynasty was militarily vulnerable. The northern Jurchen Jin and later the Mongols gradually overpowered it, culminating in the Mongol conquest. The Yuan dynasty, founded by Kublai Khan, marked the first time all of China was ruled by non-Han people. The Mongols incorporated China into their vast Eurasian empire, fostering global trade and cultural exchange. Yet harsh rule, heavy taxation, and natural disasters led to rebellion. In 1368, Zhu Yuanzhang, a former peasant rebel leader, drove out the Mongols and founded the Ming dynasty. The Ming restored Han rule, revived Confucian governance, and presided over economic prosperity. Ming China launched spectacular maritime expeditions under Admiral Zheng He, reaching as far as East Africa. Architecturally, the Forbidden City was built, and the Great Wall was reinforced on a massive scale. By the 17th century, corruption, famines, and invasions weakened the Ming. In 1644, the Manchus from the northeast seized Beijing, founding the Qing dynasty. The Qing dynasty expanded China's territory to its greatest extent under emperors Kangxi, Yongzheng, and Qianlong, ruling over Tibet, Xinjiang, Mongolia, and Taiwan. For much of the 18th century, Qing China was wealthy and powerful. But in the 19th century, it declined rapidly under internal rebellions and foreign aggression. The Opium Wars with Britain forced humiliating treaties, the cession of Hong Kong, and the opening of treaty ports. The Taiping Rebellion, led by Hong Xiuquan, caused tens of millions of deaths. Attempts at reform, like the Self-Strengthening Movement and the 100 Days Reform of 1898, failed under conservative opposition. Defeat by Japan in 1895 and further encroachments by Western powers deepened the crisis. China entered what later became known as the Century of Humiliation, marked by loss of sovereignty and social upheaval. The 1911 revolution, led by Sun Yat-sen, overthrew the Qing and founded the Republic of China in 1912, ending 2,000 years of imperial rule. Sun's three principles of the people, nationalism, democracy, and livelihood, sought to modernize China. But the young republic fractured under warlords. The Nationalist Party, led by Chiang Kai-shek, and the newly founded Chinese Communist Party clashed for dominance. During World War II, they united against the Japanese invasion, enduring atrocities such as the Nanjing Massacre. After Japan's defeat, civil war resumed. The Communists, strengthened by their Long March and grassroots support, triumphed in 1949. The Nationalists retreated to Taiwan. On October 1, 1949, Mao Zedong proclaimed the People's Republic of China in Beijing. The new regime launched radical reforms, land redistribution, collectivization, and state ownership of industry. Millions of landlords and perceived enemies were persecuted. In 1958, Mao launched the Great Leap Forward, aiming to industrialize through mass mobilization. The policy disastrously backfired, causing famine and tens of millions of deaths. In 1966, Mao unleashed the Cultural Revolution, a decade-long upheaval where Red Guards attacked intellectuals, traditions, and cultural heritage. The movement paralyzed education, destroyed cultural relics, and caused widespread suffering until Mao's death in 1976. In 1978, Deng Xiaoping initiated reform, and opening up. Abandoning Mao's radicalism, Deng introduced market mechanisms, dismantled collective farms, encouraged private enterprise, and opened special economic zones like Shenzhen. Foreign investment poured in, and China entered a period of unprecedented economic growth. Over the next decades, China averaged double-digit GDP growth, lifting hundreds of millions out of poverty. In 2001, China joined the World Trade Organization, integrating into the global economy. Leaders Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao continued the path of modernization, focusing on technology, education, and global diplomacy. By 2010, China had surpassed Japan as the world's second-largest economy. Since 2012, under Xi Jinping, China has emphasized nationalism, centralization of power, and global ambition. Xi articulated the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation and launched the Belt and Road Initiative in 2013, building infrastructure and economic ties across Asia, Africa, and Europe. China has also advanced rapidly in science and technology, launching its own space station, sending probes to the Moon and Mars, and modernizing its military. As a permanent member of the UN Security Council, China plays a decisive role in global governance. Domestically, Xi has consolidated power, cracked down on corruption, and promoted a stronger role for the Communist Party in every sector of society. Internationally, China presents itself as both a rising great power and a defender of multilateralism. From Neolithic settlements to a modern superpower, China's history is one of resilience, adaptation, and transformation. It has produced some of the world's most enduring philosophies, inventions like paper, gunpowder, the compass, and printing, and a civilization that profoundly shaped Asia and beyond. China endured cycles of unity and division, glory and humiliation. Today, it stands as the world's most populous nation and a global economic powerhouse, with growing